Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is on the BBC mockumentary Clean Eating Dirty Secrets, and I have got my banana t-shirt ready because I think a certain banana girl might want some support after this programme aired, because I don't even know where to start with it actually. It was just so bad and so biased and unresearched, and really made vegans in general look really bad.
I'm Grace Victory and I make YouTube videos on beauty, fashion, body image and mental health, sort of like the internet's big sister. The latest fashion in health right now is clean eating, with over 30 million eat clean hashtags on Instagram and self-style wellness bloggers leading the way in pushing plant-based diets that are dairy-free, sugar-free, gluten-free, meat-free, joy-free. So, should we worry about the latest trend, or will clean eating really result in a hotter, happier, healthier you? I'm going to type in clean eating and then see what comes up.
Hi.
Hi. Hey guys.
Hi guys. Hey banana bitches.
Am I beautiful?
What?
Ella from Dish Ciela, and I'm going to be sharing loads of stuff on health and happiness with you guys.
The other UK person is Madeline Shaw.
Check out my website for more tips and tricks to enliven the hottest, happiest and healthiest you.
So, all these clean eaters are preaching that what they do is the best way to live. But I'm thinking now, are these people trained in this stuff? Do they know what they're talking about? I don't know.
Why are you doing a BBC documentary on clean eating? Because what qualifies you to judge anybody else on how they're living when you yourself are not healthy?
Like tomorrow, I'd be like, my new eating trend is I'm going to eat full fat food and no carbs. Could that be a thing? And I think it could be. People who want to believe in something to make themselves feel better. So
it's quite funny that she says, oh, people want to believe in something to make themselves feel better. We as vegans actually admit that we made a mistake, that we were harming animals, that we were unnecessarily harming animals, we were harming the planet, and we were harming ourselves by eating meat. And we actually looked at the reality of what meat is. It's a dead animal. It was alive, it wanted to live, and we killed that. We took that life away. And in doing that, we were also supporting the biggest environmental threat that our planet is facing. And we were hurting ourselves. We were giving ourselves diseases. So we're not the ones who need to believe in something to make ourselves feel better, because we've already looked at the realities of what our diet was doing, and we've said no, we're not going to support that anymore. Meat eaters are the ones that, want to make themselves feel better, because they don't want to admit that what they're doing is wrong. So they will hang on to anything that will validate why they are eating meat, so they can continue to do it. We're not the ones who need to make ourselves feel better. I think that Grace needs to look in the mirror. She wants a diet that's going to make herself feel better about her diet and how and her lifestyle and what she's doing, because we've already looked
in the
at
UK has more than tripled in 10 years. But the bloggers like to call themselves plant-based.
Plant-based and veganism are two different things. Veganism is not just what you eat and what you put in your mouth. It is the whole entire lifestyle. So if you're a vegan, you don't eat meat, you don't eat, including fish, you don't eat dairy, you don't eat eggs, you don't eat honey, you don't wear wool, you don't wear leather, you don't go to dolphinariums, you don't go to circuses with animals in them, you don't do anything that exploits animals for your own use. Plant-based diet is basically you avoid eating meat and animal products as much as possible. It may be 100% of the time, it may be 99% of the time, it may be 50% of the time, but you know, predominantly your diet is plant-based. You're not doing it for the animals, you're not doing it for the planet, you're just doing it because you want to. There's nothing else in it. You could hate animals and still follow a plant-based diet. You could wear leather and still be on a plant-based diet. So the two are completely separate, and this Grace girl uses veganism throughout the documentary interchangeably with plant-based when they are two different things, and it's just so annoying that they do that, because it just puts veganism in a bad light when it's...
As a plant-based diet, I can't eat meat, fish, wheat, dairy. No white flour, white rice, white pasta, no refined foods, no chemicals, no additives, no flavourings.
Because she can't eat gluten and wheat and pasta, and that's not what a plant-based diet is. You can still eat all those things if you're plant-based. That is your personal choice if you choose not to eat some of those or all of those things. But you can eat pasta and eat white rice and eat bread and all these other things and still be plant-based.
£12 for pollen. They look tasty, but they're £5. I'm not a millionaire, so... I feel like this whole clean eating vegan thing is a class. Like, very middle class, very like middle class. And I mean, I make money, but I can't afford to eat like this all the time. Like, it's very expensive.
She didn't have to go to expensive organic shops. You could have just gone to Asda's, which is like one of the cheapest in the UK. She could have gone to Tesco, she could have gone to Sainsbury's. She could have even gone to Marks and Spencer's, and it still would have been cheaper than this organic shop.
So this is mine. I basically mostly got produce because I have a lot of like grains and stuff left, so I don't really need to buy anything else. So first thing, I got some spinach. I got, yeah, just baby spinach. I also got 3 peppers. I love peppers. I got 3 courgettes for £1. Not bad. I'm gonna make some zucchini noodles with those. I got 2 things of broccoli, and I got the same bag of carrots because it was so cheap, like why not? Yeah. And I got a huge thing of mushrooms. This was like £1.38 or something, but it's like 650 grams. That's pretty damn good, and I love mushrooms. Celery, because, you know, celery. I don't even know what to say in these videos. I got 5 bananas. Apparently these are ripe and ready to eat. I got the same hummus, 30% less fat, to eat with all these veggies I got. And these oranges, the same ones I think. Apparently they're for children, but whatever. That's it. Really simple. And that, my friends, was... Do you want to guess how much this was, Dan?
£12.
12 pounds? Well, actually, it was $8.77.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be amazing as hell, bro.
So yeah, there's $8.77 and all of that stuff. Pretty good, not bad. Hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.
But clean eating isn't just about what you eat. The wellness bloggers are selling a whole lifestyle. Famous fitness fanatic, abs on Instagram.
Really annoys me that they think that people who follow a vegan or plant-based diet are fitness fanatics, and they think that we are always exercising and we're obsessed with going to the gym and running and things like that, when the reality is the joy of being a vegan or a high-carb vegan, or eating a clean diet, is that you don't have to go to the gym all the time, and you don't have to exercise all the time, because your diet naturally means that you don't put on weight. And to get outside for half an hour a day is not extreme. Everybody should be going outside and doing something, moving in some sort of way for half an hour a day. And it's that the nation thinks that it's extreme to move your body for half an hour every single day, or at least most days a week. That's quite scary that the nation would even think that that's weird, and that the BBC, a massive corporation, are actually promoting that. And so it's just making this false image of what vegans are, once again, as just these crazy fitness fanatics. When if you actually listen to, say, somebody like Freelee and Durian Rider, who they make fun of in the documentary, they say all the time, don't over-exercise, just exercise as much as you want. Yes, obviously if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to exercise a little bit more or do some form of exercise, but again, that's just because the human body is designed to move, just like other primates are designed to move. But exercise for half an hour a day, and Freelee and Durian Rider always say, be able to talk while you're doing it. If you're not able to talk while you're doing exercise, then you're probably doing too much, unless you're training to run a marathon or whatever. But if you just want to be a normal kind of healthy person, then just go out for half an hour to an hour a day and walk, jog, run, cycle, swim, whatever, but just do whatever you find fun, and only do it to a level that you can do comfortably. And then if you want to increase your fitness, then just gradually increase that. But there's nobody saying, or at least the Freelee and Durian Rider and a lot of the people that she featured on the documentary and the people in the vegan world, I never hear any of them say, make sure that you exercise to the point where you want to throw up and you must exercise for 5 hours a day. You know, the whole point of this lifestyle is to get people out of that mentality that they need to calorie restrict and exercise all the time, and that this whole diet is, this lifestyle of being skinny is unattainable, which is what society wants us to think, is that to have this skinny body that they see on telly is this elite thing, when really it's not.
I mean, I think we do need to be careful about, like, you know, who we're taking advice from.
Bloggers saying, and can we really trust them?
Yes, Grace, because you're so trustworthy. Let's see what other fun facts this mockumentary gave us. Should we hear that trustworthy doctor's opinion on milk?
Milk is a really good source of calcium. The danger of giving up milk is that you don't
When
replace
going
that.
vegan is calcium, because we are kind of raised and indoctrinated to believe that we get our calcium from dairy, you know, milk, cheese. And I mean, I'm sure you're going to be talking about this, some of the insanity of that, looking at the actual what dairy does within our body. But could you speak some about calcium within a vegan diet, and also the role that calcium plays within the whole dairy industry?
Sure. So, I mean, it's true. Dairy is the number one source of calcium in the United States. Calcium intake is also the number one source of saturated fat intakes. Actually, not beef, but cheese primarily. Cheese, then chicken, actually. More saturated fat, cheese, chicken, donuts, and then basically pork. And so, food is a package deal, right? I mean, as much as, Burger King says you can have it your way, you can't go be like, yeah, could I get the, the protein, the iron, but, hold the saturated fat, cholesterol, hormones, antibiotics, blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't work that way. It comes as a package deal. So it's like, where do you want to get your calcium from? You get your calcium from dairy, and the baggage that comes along with that calcium, like the saturated butter fat and, hormones, etc. Or you get your calcium from the source like dark green leafy vegetables. What's the baggage you get there? Oh, well, then you get the fiber and the folate and the potassium, the phytonutrients, and the iron, all these wonderful things that you're not getting in the dairy source. So you're getting kind of everything you want without all the stuff you don't want. So that's really why plant-based sources of calcium are so much healthier. Now, the most concerning thing in terms of milk consumption was a series of studies, actually, which will be profiling soon on nutritionfacts.org, that actually found that those who drank more milk actually had a higher hip fracture rate. So we've known that milk isn't protective. Whether we're talking about older women, younger women, peak bone mass, any of that, milk just has not been shown to protect bone health. But here, for the first time, is saying, well, actually increases fracture risk, as well as shortens lifespan and increased risk for cardiovascular disease. I think it's actually the galactose, this sugar found in lactose and milk sugar, that's hurting the bones and increasing risk for death and brain problems. And that is not where we want to get our calcium.
If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and share it around to spread the nutritional truth. Clean eating videos, and I'm just like, I'm not inspired by this. It's unattainable to me. I don't want to live this lifestyle.
She doesn't want to do it, so she's never going to do it. She's always going to find a way of not being able to do it. That's why she tried the potato cleanse, because obviously she wasn't going to be able to stick to a potato cleanse. She wasn't going to be able to do raw diet. There's no way she would have been able to do raw. It's her lifestyle, like she said, doesn't support having a raw diet. So why did she try that? Why didn't she just become a normal vegan? There are so many normal and even unhealthy vegan foods that she could have eaten, and there's so many clean vegan foods that she could have eaten that would have been way easier to prepare. She could have had cereal in the morning. She could have had porridge or oatmeal. She could have had just some bananas. She could have had fruit if she really wanted to be raw. The fact that she just didn't want to do it, so she was going to try everything that she knew wasn't going to work, so that she could say that it just doesn't work for her. It's just an excuse. It's just her way of saying, no, I tried it, it didn't work for me. And she just cherry-picked YouTubers and diet plans that she knew wouldn't work for her.
I really, really miss eggs. I miss eggs so much. An egg sandwich, an omelette, egg with avocado on toast, poached egg, fried egg, scrambled egg. Eaten. Number one, because I just cannot eat potatoes for breakfast. Number two, I'm running slightly late. So usually I would go up to central London and get food up there, which I'm going to try and do today, if I can find potatoes. Oh, all I want is like avocado on toast with poached egg. Freelee again. I wonder what Dr. Sarah thinks about her.
Protein, yes, it is bad to have lots of protein, girl. Protein is like acid for your body and for your bones.
Amino acids.
Yeah, so you don't want that.
I don't even know where to start. It's absolute rubbish. It just goes against everything that we know about nutrition and nutrition science. Clearly, she hasn't got a brain in her head.
It's really low for a so-called dietitian, a doctor, to make a low blow like there's not a brain in Freelee's head. Like, just because Freelee and Durian may have, in that particular video, may have not explained themselves properly in the reason that protein is bad, when they only took like a 10-second clip out of the thousands and thousands of videos that they've put out, you don't need any more than 10% of your calories to come from protein. And vegans, just like everybody else, get way more than they need to. The problem with the meat, egg and dairy diet is that the protein is different from the protein that you get in plants, and it is far, far worse for you. It promotes IGF-1 growth hormones, which means that you are way more susceptible to getting cancer. You have a more acidic blood. You have a higher chance of getting kidney problems. You have a higher chance of getting heart disease. You have a higher chance of becoming overweight. There are so many health problems that can come from having too much protein.
She also says, I get most of my protein on a raw vegan lifestyle from my own flesh. This is actually scientifically accurate.
It's not scientifically accurate, it's scientific rubbish, and it's almost comical.
Again, they took what she said out of context. It is scientifically accurate that you do get protein from the shedding of and recycling of your own cells within your body. And you do get all your protein requirements from eating vegetables. You get more than enough protein, about 5 to 10% of your calories to come from protein, and you get more than enough from your diet. And that is what she was saying. Mockumentary just shows its true colours by taking what she said out of context just to make her look bad.
There isn't a scrap of scientific evidence behind the so-called alkaline diet. We have a very acidic pH in our stomach, we have a slightly alkaline pH in our blood, and there are different processes in the body that are there to make sure that those pHs are maintained, and it's nothing to do at all with the food that we eat.
If our body isn't buffering the acid formed from our diet with our bones, how is it neutralizing the acid? Maybe with our muscles. Our blood gets more acidic as we age, as our kidney function declines, and this may be a reason we lose muscle mass as we get older. The modern Western diet based on animal products generates an acid load that may cause a lifespan state of unnoticed and growing metabolic acidosis. And this chronic, low-level diet-dependent metabolic acidosis might contribute to the progressive shrinking of our muscle mass as we age. See, muscle wasting appears to be an adaptive response to acidosis. When our muscles break down, amino acids are released into the bloodstream. Our liver can then take these amino acids and make something called glutamine, which our kidneys can use to get rid of the excess acid. And indeed, in this 3-year study, those over age 65 eating alkaline diets were better able to preserve their muscle mass, which they think may be because the alkaline-producing fruits and vegetables helped relieve the mild acidosis that occurs with the ingestion of the standard American diet. But show me a study in which fruits and vegetables aren't associated with health benefits. So when the latest review asks, does an alkaline diet benefit health? If you're asking, does a diet low in meat, eggs, and dairy, all acid-producing, and high in fruits and vegetables with lots of dark green leafies, well then of course the answer is yes, an alkaline diet benefits health. But if you're asking, does it matter what the pH of your pee is, whether your urine is acid or alkaline, regardless of what actually goes into your mouth, then the answer is actually still yes, it does matter, but the accepted benefits of having alkaline urine appear limited to 2 areas: lower risk of kidney stones and better uric acid clearance. We knew about the kidney stones, but the uric acid data is new. Researchers found that alkalinization of the urine is effective for removing uric acid from the body. And if you remember, uric acid is bad stuff, potentially increasing one's risk of fatal stroke, heart disease, and death. So, those eating plant-based diets are at an advantage. The average vegetarian diet is alkaline-producing, and the average meat-eating diet is acid-producing. Even though there are some acid-forming meat substitutes, like some of the corn products, they're not as bad as something like tuna. And they're typically consumed in smaller quantities than meat consumers consume meat. As the protein in plants is usually accompanied by much more potassium, which is alkalizing, there is good reason to eat protein meats, preferably from plant sources. And if you actually measure urine pH, those eating strictly plant-based diets have the greatest advantage, significantly more alkaline urine than omnivores. How can you tell what your urine pH is? Well, you can...
It's just so low. And to say that there's no scientific evidence that what you eat affects your pH, that is scientific nonsense, when there is actually scientific evidence, scientific papers, studies, long-term studies, as you can see from the Nutrition Facts dog, and he's a doctor that is not paid by any, that puts out this information just so people know the truth.
You're a pretty girl, what's in your head? It doesn't matter, brush your hair.
I am here at the first UK Wellness Summit, and there's like entrepreneurs here, there are startups, and it's all about making a business essentially and making money off the wellness industry. And I sort of feel like people are looking at me wondering what I'm doing here. I don't know, I've got my hair in plaits, plus size. I don't know, I feel like I'm being judged, and people are like thinking she doesn't look healthy or she doesn't look like she's into wellness. So
well, yeah. Everybody judges everybody. She was judging everybody in that room when she was there. So just get over the fact that people are judging you, because everybody judges. But it's up to her to let those emotions in and let the fact that other people are judging her bother her. So obviously she herself isn't comfortable in her own skin or in her own body, or her whatever she was doing, she just wasn't comfortable with that, because you know, people judge me all the time. I can't ever say that I'm vegan or I don't like something, whatever, anytime without being judged. And, you know, lots of questions being asked and just people making comments and remarks about my diet. It doesn't bother me, because I know what I'm doing is right. and I don't care what anybody else thinks, so whatever. But she herself obviously doesn't have that self-confidence. She's doing this documentary to validate herself, to say, no, it's not my fault that I'm fat, or it's not my fault that I have fat, or it's not my fault that, you know, I can't do a certain diet because, you know, they're just extreme, they just don't work for me, you know, then they don't know what they're talking about, because it will make herself feel better, and it will just, if she has someone telling her that how she is eating is better.
So I've obviously been looking at different people online and meeting people who follow certain diets, and in my opinion they don't look that healthy to me. They don't look that well.
I would agree. Looking at most of them, I would say you have an eating disorder. You
Yeah.
definitely meet all of the criteria for an eating disorder. You know, from the way they speak about food and that they push themselves with exercise and they obsess around food.
Yeah.
And so you get a bunch of people, all with very strange, odd relationships with food, who are validating each other's behaviours and saying this is okay, when it's not.
No.
It's a trend, and it will be a bubble that eventually probably bursts and people take the backlash.
Yeah.
The main messages, you know, throughout a couple of 100 years that haven't changed: eat a little bit of what you fancy, eat in moderation, eat food, you know, that looks
Actual
like food.
So Gracie is saying that she doesn't think that all those YouTubers, all those vegans, like Emily from Bite Size Vegan, for Vegan Gains, Freelee, Durian Rider, Bonnyrebecca, Naturally, Stephanie, none of the vegan YouTubers out there look healthy. But she herself is probably one of the most unhealthy looking people that I've ever met. I mean, she is very overweight. She's probably borderline obese, if not already obese. She's got a ring of fat around her neck. Her thighs are literally the size of my two, plus probably 3 or 4 of my thighs put together. And she is saying that we don't look healthy, that us vegans don't look healthy, when she herself is grossly overweight. And that's not me being rude, that's not me not fat shaming, or, you know, I don't know, whatever people on the internet like to say. That's just being honest that she's fat, or she has fat. And the only reason that she's doing a documentary like this is because she wants to validate herself and make herself feel better about the way she looks, because she doesn't want to change. I mean, somebody like Grace would say, you know what, you're right, the vegan diet, even a plant-based diet, is 100% better than the standard American or standard Western diet of meat, dairy and eggs. But I don't care about animals, I don't really care about the planet, I don't care about humanity, and I actually just don't care about my own health. Then whatever, that's up to you, go and do that, you know. But just because she wants to validate herself, she's going to put down the diet of others and try to make us look like we're the bad ones and that we're promoting some sort of clean, healthy trend that's going to kill everybody, and that we're responsible for people's anorexia and orthorexia. That's
to a Mexican restaurant. So raw vegan might have to go out the window. I'm sorry.
None of us have ever been to a Mexican restaurant and eaten vegan before, because we all have to be raw and there is nothing else that we can eat except for having a joy-free life. I mean, it was just such a bad documentary, and you could just so see that Grace had no interest in doing it. Was just laughing at the fact that I was just laughing at vegans, basically, or plant-based people, or clean eaters. I'm not really quite sure who she was directing the video to, because she tried. They interchange names and people so much that there's no definition of there was no definition of vegan or plant-based or a clean eater, because You can be a vegan person who's clean, a clean eater, or a normal eater, or whatever type of eater, however you want to eat, really, on a vegan diet. You can be plant-based and you can be healthy or not healthy. And then you can be a clean eater, and there's still, within the clean eating community, there is non-vegan, there's vegan, there's vegetarian, there's whatever. And she mixed them up so much to the documentary that I don't even know who or what she was talking about. But Grace will continue on with her sad diet and not change, because she simply doesn't want to. She doesn't want to admit that she's wrong, or that her diet is going to kill her eventually. She doesn't want to get up off her ass and exercise and wake up, really. And that's up to her, I suppose. But anyway, let me know what you thought of the mockumentary, and if you like this video, don't like this video. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and go check out all of the vegan channels that I featured on this video, like Freelee the Banana Girl, Durian Rider, Bite Size Vegan, and Dr. Gregor at nutritionfacts.org, and any of the other YouTubers that I posted clips or photographs. Just check them out, and then you can decide what you think of their lifestyles and their choices and the information that they're giving out, because it's definitely not what was portrayed in this BBC mockumentary. And yeah, BBC, very disappointed in you. Still can't believe you aired that. Anyway, I will see you next time.